All right, folks, let's talk about the story out of Louisiana. Remember we told you about that judge in Louisiana who was busted on video, her own home video, using the N-word. Roll the video, please. Y'all have it?
Oh, shit. Mom goes, why are the lights to your
When I pull
on?
up in the whip, they be saying, God damn.
Like, why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, nigger! Nigger!
Again, we have a nigger. It's a nigger. Like a roach.
Look, that's me.
No, that's
I came from the backside.
Look, he trips over the
He tripped twice. He tripped twice.
I was the only one running.
That's me. Kenny was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
He lied.
That was his wallet.
Yeah.
That's my phone where it fell out.
Look, Mom. The dude had a phone on him. You should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to grab a gun.
Go and get the gun.
It's important. Very important.
As me and Austin maintain control of the situation.
The great thing is we've got video. We've got look, they're with the car. Wait, look, there's
And look, here comes
there's
Rebel.
Want to play fetch? Rebel.
Lafayette City Court Judge Michelle Odinet says she takes full responsibility for her hurtful words. Now, remember, she first said she took a pill, and I just don't recall any of those things. I don't know what was being said. Yeah, you sounded like you were out of it. She's now out of a job. And, of course, they replaced her with a black judge. And I just keep saying, Avis, look, this nice little device right here is just gonna let all the races reveal themselves right here.
Sure does. I mean, but you know what's really interesting? I just want to know who leaked the video because
Right.
I want to know who the hell is she this off. That's the real thing we need to figure out. But the reality is here, though, that we got to look inside the sort of the quiet conversations that are had, not in public view. And the sad situation is, we know people are like this all over the place, but as a judge, you know, what sorts of things are going through her mind when she sees Black people in front of her? And this is why it was important for her to resign, because how could she move forward in credibility and say that she is an impartial judge, even when she's in her home using this? That's where she feels the most comfortable. So you know she's saying what she really thinks. But once again, it makes me wonder, who the hell she pissed off? But somebody leaked that.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, and that's the thing. What this reveals, Omakongo, is what's going through your mind. That determines how your judicial rulings.
Absolutely. And look, I'm not a lawyer, but I've watched enough Law and Order episodes, you know, to know that when you get exposed in ways like this, all of your past stuff's got to get reviewed too. I mean, people need to be looking at this woman's record to see what patterns of bias have existed in her cases. Because really, at the end of the day, it's not just enough for her to resign. There need to be some other types of consequences, being disrobed or something. You can't do something that egregious, as Dr. Avis was saying, as a judge, and just walk away. It's not like you're just working at like CVS and somebody says something to you at the cash register and you start cursing them out. You are a judge who takes an oath to be impartial and all of that, and it clearly shows that you are a racist. So there needs to be a deeper investigation into her past cases to see where biases are. And to be quite honest, she should face penalties in terms of being disrobed and not have the opportunity to practice in any way, shape, or form. Because I don't know how it works with judges, but we see it with enough police officers who do something racist, or do something extremely inappropriate, and they resign, and then they go right down the street and work somewhere else? Is she going to move to another county and be a judge there as well? That shouldn't be allowed. And I'm just glad that whoever she pissed off let the world know who she really is. So thank you.
Jeff, is all about, again, snatching that law license. That's the key.
Well, that's the big key. And I triple down on what Dr. Avis and Brother Omekongo said. You also need to check your friend circle, because, baby girl, somebody ratted you out badly. You must have done, I don't know what you did, but they put you out there. I'm kind of glad when I see incidents like this happen. Ice Cube had an album, Death Certificate, and one of the songs begins with, "Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you." It's good to know what people think. And it's good to catch them in spaces where they feel comfortable saying something. To the credit of the person who shared, they may very well be, not to presume too much, but they may be very well one of the white allies that we talk about. And we talk about, hey, what can we do behind closed doors? And one of the things that the late Dr. Francis Cress Welsing used to say is that if you're white and you want to help make a change, you've got to tell black people and other people what is said in the room when there are no other black people there. So if you're in there, you got to do that. So this may very well be a case of that. We also have to see what the real long-term consequence is going to be. It was brought up that you got to review her caseload. You got to look at her decisions. You got to see how race and sentencing could have been a very well a factor. It's got to hurt her in her pocketbook at some point. She's embarrassed. She's frustrated. She used all of these terms, but she actually did it. Nobody takes a pill that makes them do something that egregious and that inside. I'm just saying, I hadn't seen a pill like that. I've seen a pill that make you sleepy. I've seen pills that make you honest. I've counseled people through situations where they had a little bit too much to drink and they said what was really on their mind because their prefrontal cortex had shut down. But the reality is that's a powerful pill. That's a pill called white supremacy, and there must be some secret underground where that thing is being manufactured and dropped in drinks with 200 million people at a time. I don't know what it is. The other thing that could happen is, I think about a year ago, there was a country singer named Morgan Wallen, and this issue happened here out of Nashville. He got caught on a security camera using the word. He was drunk and he was just going in. He got caught. The consequence for him was he had to apologize. He did an Instagram video. The record label did not fully drop him. They suspended him at the time. Country radio stopped playing all of his tunes, and there was a talk about giving $100,000, I think, to the NAACP. But guess what happened?
Yeah, there were like 8 groups he was supposed to give money to. I think that Evans only gave 1. I think
he only gave 1, right? So we see this, but look at the other side. This wouldn't have hurt him because he was punished. His fans responded. So his digital album sales went up 1,220%, and his album sales went 327% in an increase just because of the incident. He had to get online and tell his fans to stop defending him. So this tells you about, when we talk about that term, we use that term, your vibe attracts your tribe. What do you do with the fallout that comes from other people who say, I'm just going to make sure before I put on my robe, that I'm going to check my squad to make sure nobody's recording this before I say what I truly say, before I go into that classroom.
Well, she gone. She gone. All right,
Roland, you could do some diversity training with her, brother. One-on-one.
Nah, hell no. Nah. She needed business from hashtag team. She needed business from hashtag team whip that ass. That's it. All right, y'all. All right, folks, back to our Road Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Speaking of ass whippings, I always enjoy watching the sheer stupidity of two people, Donald Trump and Candace Owens, together. But it was quite hilarious to watch this idiot Candace Owens interview Donald Trump, and even he have to smack down her stupidity when it comes to the vaccine. Y'all know I don't give a damn about Candace Owens. I think she's one of the dumbest people you've ever seen in the world. She's a grifter. And matter of fact, her stupidity is only matched by the stupidity of Donald Trump. And so let's just call this segment the Stuck on Stupid segment. And so we got to get a kick out of watching these two idiots talk to each other. Y'all, listen to this exchange.
Terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know
it was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months, and
to be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine was one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There were no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for moms right now.
I think it's a terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. I mean, I'm sorry, on these masking mandates, and now even the vaccine mandates for small children. And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden he becomes a radical masker. Great. I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
Looks like China. I've been to China.
Well, and yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3 and we're rated number 44.
But masking children, I mean,
it's bad.
The way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
Reese, you got to enjoy that idiot.
Well, let me say, because she gets dragged for her non-trimmed burnt edges all the time. Her hair is looking better, her makeup is looking better, she's not sounding any more intelligent. It's bad when Trump is the one who make a little bit more damn sense. I mean, he was talking about how China has a better education system, how the vaccine is the greatest thing. It's like glitch in the matrix. What is happening here? And so it wasn't going according to plan. I don't know who initiated this, but the interview definitely did not go according to plan. And I loathe to give Donald Trump credit for anything because he is, people forget so quickly, he is the most destructive politician who has led to the degradation that we see today in terms of having a fact-based, science-based discourse in our society. But in this case, he just so happened to, you know, keep it somewhat real. So yeah, it's actually really laughable that somebody of her low stature and caliber and intelligence level was given the platform, even though I don't hold Trump in high regard, he is still a former president, as opposed to journalists, particularly Black journalists, who are much more informed. And, you know, maybe some of them wouldn't want to sit down with Trump, but it just goes to show when you buck dance and you grift for, you know, white supremacists, then you get doors open that really shouldn't be open because you're not equipped. And she's not equipped. And at least Trump somewhat had his wits about him in that interview for a change.
This fool Greg tried to say, oh, the vaccine is killing people and more of them are dying under Biden. And he's like, yeah, actually, the unvaccinated.
Well, that was quite a clip. I mean, I guess first of all, in terms of Donald John Trump, he's looking at her, and we all know what he's saying. Candarosa, I mean, what? In other words, all Black women the same Donald Trump. He you know, and so I can't even imagine what was going through his head as he's trying to check her. But I don't know where her web-based talk show is. But the theme music should be, although he probably charged him out the nose for the licensing fee to use it, it should be from Sean Carter and his sample, I'm a hustler, baby. And I want you to know that's where I've been, where I'm about to go. This is two hustlers trying to figure out a way to game each other. It's almost like you were watching, you watch babies talk to one another and can't nobody else understand what they're saying, but the two babies seem to be understanding what each other is saying perfectly well. That was an exercise in I am the one. No, I am the one. This fool talking about he created the vaccines. 100 million people there. Donald Trump can't let anybody displace his sense that he is at the center of his universe. Candace Owens is looking for the same thing and a point of entry. So basically what you end up with is a couple of babble. And when you, as you say, you put race and sex over it, Donald Trump ain't never met a Black woman he didn't hate, and then probably deep in his little tiny essence, desire. So, I mean, that was an exercise in all the pathologies in the United States of America. And it was quite entertaining.
Faraji?
I would only laugh if people didn't follow both of them. The fact that people follow the President Trump, the fact that people follow Candace Owens, the fact that we are legitimately talking about this man being, you know, running for president in 2024, in spite of all of the cluster Fs of his presidency and his life, you know, up to this point. If people didn't follow him, this would be funny. This would be like, oh, okay, this is just something to laugh about. But the fact that people follow him, the fact that January 6th happened, the fact that he's starting his own cable network show, his network, the fact that Candace Owens has some influence and power, all of these things shows us that we are in a different America. And this is what we're talking about when we say the breakdown of democracy. This is what we're talking about when we're saying how serious the time is. We can't let our foot up off the gas when it comes to figuring out how we're going to carve out for ourselves as a people, something for ourselves from this American apple pie. Because we can't put our faith in this situation. We can't even put the faith fully in the system, because the system is not even taking a man like Donald Trump and penalizing him and punishing him for all that he has done. We all waiting for the shoe to drop on Donald Trump. And guess what? Every time news about his associates come out, people getting, you know, arrested, people getting charged, and all of these things, we like on like bated breath, like, oh, it's Donald Trump next. And guess what? It never gets back to him. And this is the same system that we're supposed to believe has our best interest. This is the same system that we want to put our faith in. And then, you know, when we're talking about the vaccines, we're talking about all of this. Now we're seeing the CDC came out and said that 79% of the Omicron the Omicron cases are with vaccinated people. So now the narrative changed again. Oh, it's not the pandemic of the unvaccinated. It's a pandemic that we all face. Come on, this is a bunch of bullshit. And it's sad because why? The human lives are being politicized. We are like in recent, you said the Matrix, and I saw the Matrix yesterday. We are in that Matrix. We are being used. We are being bamboozled, as Malcolm X said. We are just being pushed around, and we got to wake up to the fact that this is the modern day America that we're currently living in. This is a very, very serious and dangerous time that we're living in. And as much as we want to laugh, and much I want to say this man is an idiot, and much as us don't have a love or really, anything for Candace Owens, the fact is people are following and listening to them, and more importantly, believe in their vision of America.
Back to our Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
You dig? I'm trying my best not to smack Herschel Walker, but it is a little hard for me not to do so. Keenan, I'm about to send you this video. See if you can go ahead and pull this video up, please. I want to, because it's some audio that I want to play. So Herschel Walker, of course, is running for the United States Senate in Georgia. And if he wins the primary, he'll be facing, of course, Senator Raphael Warnock, Pastor Raphael Warnock. Well, internal polling came out today showing Walker at 49-48. Conservative Eric Erickson said that if your internal polling showing you at 49-48, that ain't good for you in a state with Biden having 55% disapproval numbers. So can you let me know if you can pull that up? I got to show y'all because first of all, Herschel Walker is not the brightest bulb in a dark room. I mean, he ain't bright at all, y'all, at all. So he was doing a radio interview. He was doing a radio interview, y'all. where they were talking about the John Lewis Act. Okay. Now, prior to Congressman John Lewis passing away, he literally wrote the voting law. So Herschel Walker was asked about this law. And Keen, if you can go ahead and pull that up, I want y'all to hear what one of the dumbest people you've ever heard. If you think his son is dumb, you see exactly where his son got it from. Keenan, go ahead and play it.
Raphael Warnock doesn't talk about inflation. He doesn't talk about the price of gas. He doesn't talk about supply chain disruption or anything of that nature. But he brings up voting rights, the John Lewis voting rights bill. What do you say about Raphael Warnock trying to push this during this time to try to what I call federalize elections?
You know what's sad about that, you know, to use the name of a great man to bring up something that is so bad, I think is terrible to do. You know, Senator Lewis is one of the greatest senators that's ever been, and for African American, that was absolutely incredible. I think for them to throw his name on a bill of the voting rights, I think is a shame. First of all, you know, when you look at the bill, it just doesn't fit what John Lewis stood for, and I think they know that. And I think that is sad for them to do this to him. And let's go to the voting rights. People want to talk about voting. First of all, you want to get people to vote if they're legal to vote. You want to try to encourage people to vote. That's the most precious thing that you have. Not encourage, but encourage. And what I mean by that is you get things done now. Don't talk about it after or talk about it during, but get it done right now. If no one is not legal to vote, why don't we go in and get the IDs, get everything done right now instead of waiting until it's time to vote and start talking about it? We shouldn't. And, you know, and I think that's what people got to remember.
I just want y'all to hear for y'allself, because sometimes you just got to go ahead and let dumb be dumb. What he said here, Robert, was I don't really think the John Lewis Act is what John Lewis stood for.
Well, look, I've invited Herschel Walker on my radio show. I've invited the other Senate candidates. I've had Calvin King, who's running that Republican primary. I was on my show last week. Gary Black, who's the current agricultural secretary, who's going to be coming up in the new year. I hope Herschel will come on. But, you know, Herschel down here is known as CTE patient zero. He's not all the way there. And I think the Republicans are making a grave mistake nominating, so if they try to nominate somebody like Herschel Walker. We've already given all the numbers and all the hermeneutics going into this election. This should be a landslide for Republicans. If you just put default Republican in there, they should win this seat going away versus Warnock, because it was an aberration year with Democrats taking both Warnock and Ossoff and Joe Biden winning the state of Georgia. So without Donald Trump on the ballot, without everything going on in 2020, Republicans should have a very good chance of winning. But when you have someone like Herschel Walker, who might be the nominee, you are talking about running an admitted woman beater, somebody who beat his former wife, who is a domestic violence attacker, and you're going to run him against a Baptist minister in the South. What is wrong with Republicans? You're going to take somebody who literally beat women for 20 years and does not live in the state of Georgia and run them against a Baptist minister. So I think that Republicans are going to have to rethink this. They should take another look at Calvin King, another look at Gary Black, that they want any chance of winning. But this is just another in a long line of gaffes that Herschel Walker has made and is going to make. And when your son is the best spokesperson for the campaign, complaining about gas prices and a $1,200 hoodie, I don't think a worse mistake can be made by Republicans than nominating somebody like Herschel Walker, who, I repeat, beats women, and they want to run him against a Baptist minister. You can't make a worse mistake than that in the state of Georgia.
Monique. You on mute?
I said he's just not a serious person.
Roland, let me tell you what you should do. And I know you can get this done. You should put together a 1 or 2 minute piece on all of Herschel Walker's gaffes and when he's, as well as when you can't understand it. I can't really understand it. I don't know what his language is. So he doesn't have to be bright, but he got to be able to communicate. Not just every time I've heard him, I can't put a string of English sentences together, or the King's English or the Queen's English. So I'm not sure what to think. I wish he had the video so I could hear it. But in any event, I don't know. I can't really take him very serious. Trump's backing him. I mean, he manifests the ignorance of a number, not all, a number of Republican supporters and voters in Georgia who like all that idiocy and all that stuff, that minstrel show, if you will. And so I guess you gotta cover it, but I think you're gonna have to slap him a few times before the general, as well as the primary, as well as the general. I think you're gonna have to slap.
But also, let's not forget.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's not forget though, the Republicans nominated and elected Tommy Tuberville in our neighboring state of Alabama to the United States Senate. So for Republicans, you do not have to be a PhD or well-spoken in order to be a United States Senator. You've got to be involved in SEC football. That's pretty much their main requirement to be a United States Senator down here. So I think we cannot write off somebody like Herschel, despite his history of domestic violence, his history of mental illness, his admissions that he has committed various violent acts and torture against women throughout the years, and they will run that against a Baptist minister and say, well, look, he ran that ball back in the 80s, and that's all that they require in order to elect you to Senate. So it's a very scary place that we're in America. And I would like to see these women's groups come out and stand up, because Roland, you've mentioned often that when it comes to Black issues, there's always Black folks standing by ourselves. We need all these national women's organizations to come out and stand up against an admitted woman's beater. We need to have all those people down here marching and protesting and pouring money into the state to ensure that you do not have somebody who is admitted to domestic violence in the United States Senate, because how exactly can you stand up and say you really defend women if you're not going to fight back against someone like Herschel Walker, who beat women for the last 20 years?
Video in just one moment.
Betty is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now she's free to become Bear Hug Betty. Settle in, kids. You'll be there a while. Ooh, where you going?
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches! Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A Black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay Black. I love y'all. I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
You dig?
I got you, girl. Illegally selling water without a permit on my property.
Whoa!
Hey! Give us your ass.
We don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
All right, folks. So we were all quite amused when we saw this tweet on yesterday from a Patricia Morgan. She tweeted, "I had a Black friend. I liked her, and I think she liked me too. But now she is hostile and unpleasant. And I am sure I didn't do anything to her except be white. Is that what teachers and our political leaders really want for our society? Divide us because of our skin color. Hashtag CRT for critical race theory. Well, after a couple of hours, we saw this tweet. LOL, it me. I'm the black friend. Tiara Mack, who is a lawmaker in Rhode Island. She joins us now on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Tiara, you may have been, you were watching that. You probably were like, what's that segment? We have a segment called Crazy Ass White People. And the segment usually is for the white folks who are accosting black people who just trying to deliver packages, trying to sell lemonade, trying to barbecue. But it certainly was fitting for this one here. People, I mean, you see with those numbers there, how many people responded to that. So what was your reaction when you saw Patricia Morgan's tweet about, I had a black friend, now I don't?
I know for a fact that Patricia Morgan does not have any black friends. Just last week, Patricia Morgan and I are colleagues in the Rhode Island State House. I am 28 years old. I am black. I am queer. And last week I had tweeted that I would not be restarting my student loan payments shortly before President Biden extended the deferment of student loan payments until May of next year. And she retweeted me saying that I was arrogant and disgusting. And this is a colleague that I have not had the pleasure of meeting in the Rhode Island State House yet, but I do know that she is one of our more colorful colleagues, known for her white supremacist ideas, including anti-immigrant sentiments, anti-refugee sentiments, anti-black sentiments, anti-LGBTQ sentiments. And so having had just had this interaction with her as a black woman last week, I thought it would be funny to say that I was the black friend, knowing full and well that because of who Rep. Patricia Morgan is and the ideas that she holds, that no black person is claiming her as a friend.
The thing that she also apparently has sponsored a critical race theory bill.
Yes, she has sponsored many pieces of harmful legislation in Rhode Island, to the point where many members of the Rhode Island GOP do not claim her and have also been seen to distance themselves from her, especially with this tweet. She was, I think, hoping to activate her base or sensationalize anti-CRT legislation. But as we can see, that really blew up back in her face. And as someone who has been the target of many local Rhode Island attacks from white supremacist trolls, it's a little funny to see it kind of going back in her face, because did she deserve it? Yes, she did. Especially when the day before my birthday, she fixed her fingers to type that I was arrogant and disgusting on Twitter. So I think this is a wake-up call to folks that Black Twitter will always come through for its homies.
The thing that also is just curious, not only that, I had a black friend. Okay, now look, you know, I know Jeffrey Osborne, I know Claudia Jordan. I'm always messing with them about the few number of black people in Rhode Island. They're natives of Rhode Island. But my goodness, you know, when she said I had a black friend, clearly gave the impression she'll know nobody else black.
Yeah, I mean, Rhode Island does have some black people. Like we are here. I'm here. I'm not a native Rhode Islander. I am from. I grew up in Atlanta and in South Carolina. I'm a transplant, but there we got some.
How you get to Rhode Island? You left you left the black Mecca for Rhode Island?
Yes, well, I came up here to go to Brown University. So yes, I did leave the black Mecca to come up to Rhode Island, and it's been giving me a headache since. But I do love Rhode Island, and I think it has a lot to offer. And we have some really great, aside from what you see Rep. Patricia Morgan putting into the world, Rhode Island does have some really great progressive politicians and some really great work happening out of this like small but mighty state.
Look, we're seeing a whole bunch of crazy ass white people across this country. What I mean by that is, look, I got a book coming out in the first quarter of next year called White Fear. how the changing face of America is making white folks lose their minds. We're seeing an Oklahoma legislator put forth a bill that if one parent objects to a book in a library, it has to be removed. And if the librarian doesn't, they can't work for a school district for 2 or 3 years. I mean, these people are. I mean, I've been warning people to understand what's going on here, and it is the emerging majority. It is the browning of America that is driving them crazy, and this desire to maintain control, and that is continuing to define America through the prism of whiteness.
Yeah, white supremacy is rampant. White supremacy is rampant in our states. And I think it is up to each and every one of us to call it out and to acknowledge that we cannot let these systems be the truth or the things that are leading our communities and the ideas that really are shining through louder than anything else. Like being the only queer Black woman in the Rhode Island legislature is hard as hell. And every day up until today, the most I had gotten on Twitter was white supremacist trolls who were telling me every day that I'm a Black supremacist, that I'm a racist, that I'm disgusting, that because I'm a queer person and I believe in comprehensive sexual health education, that I am a pedophile and that I'm disgusting and all of these things that are just crazy and not true. But I get that on a daily basis as a young queer Black woman who's just trying to do the best for her communities, who is just trying to use her identities and her experiences as a formerly low income Black person from the South and to have policies that make sense for everyday people. And I get called all these names and I can wipe it off and ignore it, but they are really threatened by how much Blackness, brownness, and the oppressed communities in our states are really pushing back and saying, nah, no more, y'all. Like it's time, it's over. Like I'm tired. I am 28 years old. I want to be retired by like 50 because y'all got me working way too hard for this nonsense that I willingly do. But I think it is definitely a testament to how tired we all are and how much nonsense we're no longer going to take, like this tweet.
This was the tweet here you were talking about. You sent 5 days ago. I won't be restarting payments. Please drop the lower third, please. Keenan, please drop the thank you very much. I won't be restarting payments. And then she said the arrogance is stunning and disgusting. But here's what I find to be interesting here, Representative Mack. It's a whole bunch of banks that did not repay money. In fact, we forgave nearly 600 billion PPP loans. And so so I'm just trying to understand. She called it arrogant because we have $1.36 trillion worth of, Keenan, you can go to Representative Mack. We got $1.36 trillion in student loan debt in this country. And you tweet that and she calls that arrogant. But I guarantee you, we probably could go through the books of Rhode Island to see where they likely forgave money that was given to various companies in that state. I'm sure there are tax breaks that have gone to companies in Rhode Island and other states. And I don't recall that being called arrogant and stunning as well. So it's amazing. It's amazing how one person wants to define something as being arrogant and stunning, but what they call something else American investment.
Yeah, I mean, as a Black person, I've been Black my whole life. I will be Black the rest of my life. It is not shocking to me that someone would see an educated Black woman who went to one of the top universities in our country, Brown University, has an Ivy League degree and is a young, accomplished official who is really just trying to do best for communities that don't look like the majority of communities that are served in our state house, that they're threatened by that. It is a threat to see someone defy all odds and go against this notion of what success looks like. Because for folks like Patricia Morgan, success looks like whiteness. It looks like upholding the systems that oppress others so that you can get ahead. And seeing that I'm not down for that and that I am really trying to center the voices of the most oppressed is a threat to white people and to white supremacists. So we need everyone in our communities. We need more young elected Black officials. We need more young folks in office. We need more folks of varying different identities in office because we cannot just have communities that are run by out of touch, older white folks that are not ready to face the realities that it's a new world, and we need every single person to make each and every one of our states better. And things like anti-CRT legislation just ain't it anymore.
I know Robert and Scott have been chomping at the bit to be a part of this conversation. Scott, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it's a fascinating discussion, but to me, the most fascinating part is that you've never met this white legislator or legislator. Is that actually true? And you've had this dialogue, and she's one of your colleagues?
Yes, we have never had the pleasure of meeting in the Rhode Island State House due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And she is in the lower chamber. She is in the House of Representatives, and I am in the upper chamber, the Rhode Island State Senate. So we do not collaborate. And as someone who is on a very different side of the spectrum, I do not plan on doing much work with someone like her.
Good luck with building that relationship.
Robert.
While you were speaking, I had to look up some Rhode Island facts because I realized I know nothing about Rhode Island outside of Family Guy, which is set in Quahog. But so there's only 78,000 Black folks in Rhode Island. Why is she so afraid of critical race theory somehow polluting and making schools in Rhode Island too Black? You know, what exactly is motivating this fear among the white conservatives there?
Well, I wish I could tell you. I don't really know. It's a whole bunch of white nonsense, as you can see, and it just continues to be white nonsense with no answers and fear. But Rhode Island, we got really great food, restaurant capital of the world, some of the best universities that are here, and we have a state coral. That's not a fun fact. We just got a state coral.
You know, you can come back to Atlanta, right? Like we got space. You can come back. Like you don't have to deal with all that. Like there were more Black folks at the Celebration Bowl last week.
Yeah, the way that these rent prices are looking up in Rhode Island, I might be moving back sooner than it looks like, because we do not.
Yeah, come back home. Come back. We got you. Come on back.
You got to stay there for the fight. We need Black folks.
Why? No, come home.
State. You got enough Black people in Atlanta, man. We need her there, okay, to carry on the fight.
Well, God bless you. You fight the good old fight.
Rhode Island.
Yeah, well, I like to see Atlanta fighting for me. I will come back. Once these rates are looking a little different, I might come back, but Atlanta's kind of popping off right now. So I'm not really sure. Well, Rhode Island's not doing any better. We got some of the worst rates in the nation right now. Actually, Rhode Island has been #1 in COVID rates almost the entirety of this pandemic. And we make national headlines because Rhode Island also cannot get its shit together when it comes to COVID.
Well, God bless you for fighting a good fight.
Yes,
absolutely.
Well, I will say this: every year that Jeffrey Osborne has his golf tournament, we dramatically increase the Black population of Rhode Island with all the brothers and sisters who comes in to play golf. Jeffrey has assured me that his tournament is returning in 2022, and so let me go ahead and extend an invitation to you now. So if you're looking for a family reunion type get together, come to the golf tournament. It's normally in late July and August.
Okay.
And in fact, you can invite Patricia on out if she want to see some more Black people. And I'm quite sure we can educate her on what Blackness is, since she's so sad that she lost her a Black friend in you.
I'll leave that to y'all. But y'all consider it invite if you want to, but I'll leave that to y'all.
Follow-up question: does she think that her Black friend like ran away or escaped? Because usually when they ran away, they went north. She's already north. So can somebody inform her of that? We is free now. It's okay. We can leave when we want to.
She might want Tiara to go to Canada. She want to go further north.
Hey,
It's too cold there for me. I'm already as cold as it can be in Rhode Island. Like, I don't know if I can go any further north, y'all.
Tiara, when you do get back in person or even by Zoom, you're going to meet and see this person for the first time. Tell me about that conversation, or what you anticipate that conversation to be, if any.
Probably awkward for her, but for me, as an unapologetically young Black queer woman, I do not have a mind to placate these white folks who will say anything and everything online behind your backs, but never to your face. And as an unapologetically young Black queer person who's already had it, is already done with these systems that have continuously disrespected me and folks who look like me, it won't faze me none to continue to tell her who she is and who I am. If that hurts her feelings, then this maybe isn't the work for you, baby girl.
Again, thank you for being there.
Last question for you. How many other Black people are in the legislature there in Rhode Island?
So in that's a good question. So in the Rhode Island Senate chamber, I am the only woman that identifies as Black. We do have
sorry, you're in the Senate. My apologies. Earlier I called you a representative. So you're a senator. You're a state senator. Go ahead. So you're the only Black state senator.
Yes, the only Black state senator in the Rhode Island Senate, and on the House we have maybe folks who identify as Black. I think we have around 5 total. We have 21 Black and brown folks who identify mostly as Latinx, and some folks who are biracial. But I am one of 2 or 3 Black women.
All right, then. Well, Senator Mack, glad to have you on the show to talk about being the former Black friend of Pat. Again, folks have really been going in. In fact, Michael Harriet, I don't know if you saw this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Michael Harriet started a hashtag here. Wait a minute. Well, where's the hashtag? Yeah, let me switch to it right here. He started this hashtag I had a white friend. And so folks have been commenting, you giving all their different examples of hashtag I had a white friend. So folks have been, Black Twitter has been having a field day with this. And so we appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, look, keep giving them hell up there in Rhode Island, and we'll keep giving them hell here in Rolling Mark Unfiltered.
Sounds good.
Thanks a bunch.
All right, folks, back to that Rolling Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? All right, folks, welcome back to Rolling Mark Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. So you see me wearing my Jack Yates Lions shirt, and so I just want you to understand that I went to the Yates Magnet School of Communication. This is where everything got started, and so I figured with today, I wanted to represent my high school again. That's where it all began when I was 14. And do understand what I'm about to show you was visualized then. So you to understand that. And so this is the lobby, if you will, of the office and our new studios here in Washington, D.C. We're located right on Black Lives Matter Plaza here in the nation's capital. In fact, Henry, why don't you go ahead and take a shot of that? So that y'all understand, we're right here on Black Lives Matter Plaza, 16th and K. And so we're here. And so what we did here was this here. So I've had people, so, I had my show on Washington Watch on TV1, had the show News One Now. And over the years, people have given me paintings and stuff like that. And so as opposed to just sitting here, you know, putting up, you know, the network sign or whatever, what the hell, I was taking advantage of the stuff that people already sent me. And so that's why we put the pieces right here. Now, in this space here, we got some great stuff in this space because we got this massive kitchen here. And these are three of the degrees that I have, that were given to me from HBCUs and others, the honorary degrees. And so 3 of the 6 up here, we're going to load the other 3 somewhere else. And so this kitchen space allows for us to be able to do cooking segments, a cooking show here in this space. And so you have this huge countertop right here, microwaves right here, refrigerators right here. And so we're able to bring cameras in here and be able to do cooking segments or even a cooking show for the Black Star Network in this particular space and showcase it. I'm already talking to a chef and we're developing his show. I'm going to tell you later who that's going to be, but trust me, it's some great stuff. When we bring guests back in, when we have a special shows, we can have our guests sitting in here watching our programming going on in this space right here, sort of why we have it here. And so let's go to the rest of the office. So what we did was we put LED lighting all throughout the hallways and everything to be able to give it lots of color. I got tons of awards, and so we got a bunch of the awards here on the shelves here, down the hallway here. And then, of course, you're coming down here. And so same thing. So you see the different lights that we have, different color lights. And so we come into the main area of our room. Now, here's the deal. Y'all see right here, this is the set that you always see on television when I'm on. Of course, this right here, this was an art piece that was given to me by an artist in Sacramento. So we loaded that piece right there. We've got other awards and stuff over here. But let me show you this here. My man, come over here, Antoine. So Nate Parker, remember he did The Birth of a Nation? He did one of the most powerful movie posters where the American flag was a noose around his neck. And so I loved it so much, I said, Nate, I need that. So he sent me an autograph photo. And so we have that here. So I wanted to have that in here as well. And so the whole point here was that when we started the show, and one of my greatest frustrations when I was at TV One was that when we had Washington Watch, we had just one set. That's all we had. We had no room to do anything else. We couldn't do anything else. We had no space. When we had News One Now, we were from NBC News Channel. We only had the place from 5 to 9. We had to be out of there by 9:15. We couldn't do anything else. And so even when we had our first location, I'm grateful with 50 Can, we were able to use that facility, but we were landlocked. We just had one set, couldn't do anything. So I wanted a place that gave us multiple looks to be able to do what we wanted to do. And so here we got these two 82-inch TVs on both sides of me, allowing us to be able to put graphics in here as well. And so I'm going to go over here and show you something that we wanted to do, and that is we wanted to be able to, let's say we're shooting some video and we're doing something and we don't have the ability to be able we want some different looks. So we installed this huge background. Remember we had the Black-owned Drake Company on the Marketplace segment, and the brothers said they did stuff for Hollywood. I said, great. So we went ahead and said, fine, we're going to have y'all do the green screen. And so I'm going to go to this camera right here. Y'all see right now, so if we decide to do a different look, a different background, the green screen allows us to do that. If y'all saw my Frankie Beverly and Mays interview, you might saw my intros and outros. That's how we shot that on a green screen. And so this allows for us to create different looks. It also allows for us, let's say, if I'm talking and I want to have a big old like a moving video or whatever, we can actually do that by having the green screen. We didn't just want to have the green screen do anything else. So I'm always looking at different stuff and looking for some great stuff, some great ideas. So remember when we were in Chicago doing the show in Chicago, and they had this amazing mural on the wall. It was colorful. It was fantastic. Check this out. I love this. I thought this was a mural that was actually painted by somebody. Go ahead and show it. I thought that was a mural painted by somebody, and in fact, it was wallpaper. And so when I called Kenny Johnson, I said, Kenny, I said, man, we got to do this. He said, well, he could put me in touch with a sister who said it was wallpaper. So what we did was we wanted a different look. And so you see here, you pull this green screen back and we install this wallpaper. And so this allows for us, again, if we're shooting certain videos or whatever, it gives us a whole new backdrop look. So we got the green screen here, plus we got this here. So you mean you got the set over here, that's one look. The green screen, this wall here is a second look. The green screen is a third look. And so let's go over here. So I wanted to do something. We had this amazing U.S. flag that was on my Washington Watch set. We couldn't get into the building. It was too big. We literally could not get into the building. So when I was at the Anthony Anderson golf tournament, I saw these amazing art pieces, and these are the pieces. And so one, you see a Prince. You see this amazing piece on Miles Davis. This amazing piece here on Jimi Hendrix. And so we're going to take these pieces and mount these on this wall right here. And again, giving us a different look. A different look in terms of if we want to take photos, be able to shoot something as well. And so now I'm just going to pull this green screen back right here. And so do y'all have the shot of Black Lives Matter Plaza? All right, so here's what so because we're right here, y'all, we're able to extend the camera outside the window to give us a shot of Black Lives Matter Plaza. Now keep in mind, we're just 2 blocks from the White House, and so we're able to extend a camera further out this window. And so if we want to take a shot of the White House, we can actually do that. If we want to take a shot of what's happening down here, remember when I was down there broadcasting on the anniversary of the death of George Floyd? Well, we can actually do the same thing, and again, be able to give you a high shot, be able to give you different looks. And so, again, it's reimagining spaces and thinking about how to do different things. All right, so let's walk over here. Okay. So we have this space here, and so I knew I wanted to create something different and something that was unique. And so I said, we really need like a living room set piece. So remember we were in Atlanta a year ago in December 2020, and we were broadcasting from an Airbnb. And it was funny, it wasn't until like the last few days I was like, man, take that different look. And it was a great backdrop. And I said, we want to get the exact same thing in our space. And so that's what we did. And so we were sitting here going back and forth. And so about what we do, what's it going to look like. So I got an email on a Monday, out the blue, seriously, email out the blue. It says, Brother Martin, my name is Harlan Penn. I'm a set designer. I just took a job as assistant set designer at Howard University. I love your show. I want to volunteer for your show. Now, y'all, I get emails all the time from people saying they want to help with the show. They want to do some things with the show. And I was like, all right, so I hit them an email. And look, I get people say they want to do stuff. Then they want to get paid to do different stuff like that. It was cool. So I hit Harlan. He's a fellow Alpha. He says, no. He said, I want to volunteer. I want to contribute my skill set. And so Harlan literally sent me designs and designed this set piece. And we wanted something that was again, allows us flexibility. And so we put here this here, of course, this electric fireplace to give us that look. What this does is allows for us to have, we can do, a one-on-one interview with 2 chairs, but we're going to be putting a living room set here. So when we are back, we have people in studio. I'm going to be able to be here, and I can have my panelists who are going to be sitting in chairs and couches, and we're going to be in a position to have as many as 7 or 8 people who are on the set. Now, Antoine, give me a shot this way. Now, I want y'all to understand that the other ability is this here. We move that news desk back. I can fit 50 to 60 chairs in here for a studio audience. Again, it's completely rethinking how we actually do the show. Harlan joins us right now. Hey, Harlan, how you doing? I can't hear you, Harlan.
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you, Brother Martin?
Doing great. And so the set piece, man, looks great. And so just tell folks just what was going through your mind when you decided to put this thing together.
Well, I thought about what you wanted to achieve. I thought about the space there and just how to achieve that. with low ceilings and things of that nature, there were some challenges, and I just pretty much collaborated our ideas, and this is what we came up with.
And again, you just sent me an email out the blue and said you were starting teaching at Howard University.
Yep. I knew I would be in the area. I followed your show for many years, and I just wanted to branch out. I was new in the community there in DC, so I said, let me just email my brother and let's see what happens.
Well, Fred, I appreciate you sending that email. Man, it's a phenomenal look, a phenomenal piece. And again, once we get the furniture in here, it's going to give us an opportunity to do some different things. And folks, just so y'all know, again, it's a bunch of my awards here. Remember, I was at the YouTube Black conference. They gave us these Air Force Ones, and they wanted to design them, and so I had them do them as Roland Martin Unfiltered, these shoes here. My man Colin Kaepernick sent me those special edition Colin Kaepernick shoes. That's what these are. These are some Nike Black History Month shoes. That's when the Grambling won the 2016 national championship. That was signed by the team, and so we put the awards up here. And so, again, it looks great. And so, Harlan, great job, man. I appreciate you helping us. Is Dominique there? All right, so I was looking for different art pieces, y'all, and I wanted something. I wanted something that was interesting, that had color, and all of a sudden I see this piece on James Baldwin, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And so I hit this sister up, and she had done this. And I was like, it was just phenomenal. And so I hit her up. I said, hey, I want this for our new studio. And so what we did was we actually got this piece right here. I loved it because I love that the cigarette, but I love the smirk on James Baldwin's face, like, yeah, I just got in your ass. Dominique, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
All right, so Dominique, you're from San Francisco, right?
No, I'm from Pomona.
Pomona, okay, and that's
Pomona,
where you're
California. Yeah, well,
got it. And so,
I was born and raised in.
You too.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was born and raised in Pomona, and then I'm based in Harupa Valley now.
So tell us about how you did this. You did this with paint and markers on canvas?
It wasn't on canvas. I ended up making that a print onto canvas. But the original was done with alcohol markers and acrylic paint.
Gotcha. And again, I saw it. And so you print these on canvas, and you've been selling these as well. And so was this a photo of Baldwin, or was this your own creation?
It was a reference photo that I had found. It was just in black and white, so I decided to put it in color.
Well, it is phenomenal. I love it because the colors absolutely pop, and it just jumps out. And so that's why I wanted it to be a part of our new set. And so I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a bunch. All right, so I'm gonna come back over here because so Ange is not here, and Sophie. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna explain to y'all the Harry Belafonte piece and the Ida B. Wells Barnett piece. So let's come back over here. And so when we did the news set last year, y'all, this was basically white, and they had some lights down here. So I was like, you know what, y'all, that's a little boring to me. I can't do that. I need some color. So we were headed. It was February. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I was driving to Walmart, because I needed some thermals. We were going to New Orleans. We were going to Chicago for the NBA All-Star game. And I just called my man Leroy Campbell, and I said, Leroy, I got an idea. I don't know what you got. I don't know what could work, but I would love to put one of your art pieces on the set for some color, and I was also promote you as well. And so Leroy said, I got an idea. So he printed this out on canvas and then sent it to me. And as you see, it's Remember to Vote, Multiple Generations of African Americans. Artist Leroy Campbell joins us right now. What's up, man?
What's up, big dog? How you doing, baby? Happy New Year and all that stuff, man.
All good. So tell us about this piece.
You know, like always, Roland, we've always been about the salvation of our people and the unity. And we've used every aspect of, our lives, from all the systems, to challenge these systems to move our needle forward. So just prior to the election year, this piece meant that we were going to come together as a collective and use what we've always done as a collective to help, move forward. Because I always believe that the salvation of our people will always be about our unity. And so we've used various parts of ourselves in terms of the voting, in terms of the media. All of that has to play a role in helping us to achieve some semblance of salvation. So I want to congratulate you, because being an independent Black media is one of those accomplishments that we need to show that when we have our own and when we take charge of doing what we need to do for ourselves, we could accomplish so much. As a result, we now have, Biden and Harris. So this is an example of what we can do when we work as a collective, and you having your own media is a perfect example of why the collective is important, and the voting played a good part of that. And I wanted that piece to represent that intergenerational connection. Everybody participating, in all facets of life, nothing left, all hands on deck. And that's what this piece represents. And you called me 3 o'clock in the morning, rolling in Atlanta, and I was sleeping when you called me about that.
Nah, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning. It was 1 o'clock. Calm down. But you up. You up.
But that's all right. When you call,
right, Leroy,
I do, brother.
Y'all know I got several Leroy Campbell pieces in my house. And Leroy, give everybody the website to go to.
Yeah, for all y'all, want you to go to Leroy Campbell Originals with an S.com to see more work, and look forward to the book that I'm writing, the memoir called Rich History, Love Story, and look for the series that I'm working on called Thriving Community. So go to Leroy Campbell Originals.com. And thank you, Roland, for being an avid supporter and collector for the Black art community.
All right, Leroy, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, y'all, I'm not done. I'm going to go to a break. I'm going to show you our control room. I'm going to show you these other murals that are in the office. I'm explaining to you how that came about. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered, the Black Star Network, as I'm unveiling our new studio space. And so Ida B. Wells Barnett, obviously, is a history maker, pioneering journalist, writing about lynchings. And so I wanted to make sure that we show her some love on our set as well. And so that's what this piece right here is. And so this was a prominent quote of Ida B. Wells Barnett: "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." And again, I wanted something to balance off that James Baldwin piece, so it was like the color. And so I was going through my photo archives, and I came across some photos I shot at an event that Dwayne Wade's mother had at the NBA All-Star game. It was in Houston. So there was a brother who was there who was an artist, and I'm looking at the photos, and I could not remember his name. So I put it on social media. Yo, do y'all know who this brother is? And folks hit me up. They said, man, that's Ainge Hills. Hit him up. And so we corresponded. And so I had him do this Ida B. Wells piece right here. He joins us right now. What's up, Ainge?
For having me. Congratulations on your new studio.
Appreciate it, man. So tell us about how you do, because all your pieces have lots of color. They're very vivid.
Yes, they do. It's a style, actually, that I created back in 2010. And you got a chance to see some of my pieces at Dwayne Wade's foundation. And I like using a lot of colors. It takes me a little bit, but once I'm done with it, I think everybody enjoys it.
Well, absolutely. And so, I mean, the colors are fantastic. It really pops. She jumps out. And it does offer a great balance with the James Baldwin piece that Dominic did.
It does. It sure does. And that was a really good selection that you picked for me. I got to do some research on her, and it's an amazing thing that she did for our culture.
Oh, well, man, look, I appreciate it. Tell folks where they can see more of your art.
If you go to visualpaint.com, you can see more of my artwork, and you can also go to my social media handle, which is visual paint.
Okay. All right. Ames, thanks a lot, man. You take care and keep representing H-Town.
Thank you so much, and God bless.
All right. Thanks a bunch. Now, folks, remember, I told y'all when you support this show, you heard Leroy talk about the collective and supporting, again, African Americans in what we do. So, these are black artists here, Harlan Penn, Black Hollywood set designer. And so I wanted to make sure that when we're spending our money, we're spending it with folks who oftentimes don't get the shot to do this. And so Zimbabwe Pool did some work for us when we first did our studio for our lighting. And so we worked with him on here. So Zimbabwe, tell us about what we had in this space to erect this type of lighting, because normally you prefer much higher ceilings and things along those lines.
Absolutely. So basically, we made sure that we ordered some lights that basically accommodated your ceiling heights. So instead of getting some long, bulky kind of things, we found a company down in Texas.
Is it Dallas?
Yep, Dallas, that made these long kind of lights, and we saw that they had them up in different places that had these short ceilings. So that's how we came up with that.
And then also, I wanted to make sure that we had color, and so our use of the LED lighting.
Oh yeah, the LED lighting. This was one of your ideas. So we just came and implemented what you projected to us, and it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly.
And obviously, so this is also the center set. And so if I wanted to do some interviews here, folks, you see that large monitor there. That monitor there shows me all the preview monitor, everything. I can turn that around. If I want to do some interviews with some people, we can actually do it with that particular monitor. And so part of the deal, which is also different, taking one big room like this and literally having to light 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas.
Oh, you create challenges. But that's
what I do.
That's what we're here to step up to the plate and make those visions come to fruition.
All right. Tell folks the name of your lighting company.
My company is called The Resource Pool LLC. It's 100% black owned, and we're actually a video production company. We do permanent installs, temporary installs. We do it all, top to bottom.
All right, Zimbabwe, I appreciate it, man.
Oh,
thanks a bunch.
Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, folks, and y'all see, I've been hopping around here, so you see these different pieces here. And so a few years ago, I was the MC of a gala in New York, raising money, the Justice Coalition, for which Harry Belafonte is one of the founders. He's the founder. And so this sister did this piece, this amazing piece of Mr. B. And I got mad respect for Mr. B. Of course, in terms of what he does. In fact, I'm gonna sit here and Carol, y'all come get my phone, please. Y'all come get my phone. And I meant to do this earlier. Pass it to him. I'm not sure if Mr. B is at home. So take it to him. I want to see that he's at home. So. Love Harry Belafonte. I've interviewed him many times. I've done stuff for him. And so she did this piece, and I should have bought this that night. I should have bought it that night. And so I went ahead and I said, you know what? I'm going to put him on here. And so Sophia Dawson is the artist. She did this particular piece. And then that's what we have here, the centerpiece right here. And so, Sophia, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So, tell me about this Harry Belafonte piece.
Yes, please. So when I did the original piece, I was working closely with his daughter, Gina, and we wanted to do a piece that would honor the legacy of his life. One thing about Harry Belafonte that's truly dear to me is, for the past 12 years almost, I've been working closely with individuals from the Black Panther, Black Liberation Movement, who have been incarcerated for their political activity from the past up until now. And whenever I go back and I look at the photos that I usually pull from for those paintings, I find pictures of Mr. B supporting different people from the cause at different moments when nobody else, especially in the entertainment world, was doing that. And his daughter has definitely taken up his legacy and continues to do that work. So that's pretty much where the piece came from for me as far as my heart posture towards it.
When I saw it, I loved it. I took a photo of you in the photo, and I remembered it. And so when we were putting this thing together for the studio, I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to find her, hit her up to do
7 years
something. And
ago.
so.
That was literally 7 years ago.
Look, I don't forget stuff. I don't forget stuff. And I couldn't remember your name, so I sent Tamika Mallory and Carmen Perez a text saying, yo, who was the sister that did the piece on Harry Belafonte? They sent me information, and that's how we connected to commission this piece on Mr. B. So I appreciate it. Great job.
Thank you so much for thinking of me and remembering me. God bless you abundantly.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. So, folks, and so here's the deal here. So I'm trying. So I wanted to give Mr. B a shout. Just let him know how we're paying homage to him, in our studio here. And so I'm gonna go in here right now. So this is our control room, folks. And so remember our old studio, the monitors that were behind me. Well, that's these monitors right here, these 65-inch monitors. And so I'm showing y'all all y'all money at work. And so in here we got, of course, our switcher robotic cameras, our streamer stuff over here, all of our monitors, video playback machine, our graphics machine, with all of our phone calls and folks like that. We got graphics over there, audio's over here as well. The brother from Sacramento, that's another piece that we have up there. That's what you're seeing right there. That's my man?
It is.
Mr. B. I'm doing fine, sir. I am literally on my show, showing my new studio, and I showed everybody, I'm paying homage to you, that piece that Sophia Dawson did on you at the gala 7 years ago. I commissioned her to do that piece. So a photo of you, an art piece of you, is literally above my fireplace in my show studio because I love and respect you so much, and I wanted to have that in here.
Good.
And so I told Gina, I said, look, we're gonna respect my man. I said, and always talk about him and work that he does. And so I just want you to know that, and that we love all that you've done and appreciate your hard work.
Thank you very much, Roland.
Well, I hope all is well with you, my brother. Tell the wife I said hello, and hopefully we can see each other soon. You doing good?
Yeah, I feel good.
All right then. Well, Mr. B, you be well, my brother.
You take care.
Take care.
Bye.
So, folks, so here you got, again, everything is run through here. Our control room, all of our phone calls and things along those lines, our videos. And we're adding a new feature. We're going to start taking phone calls, have a call in for you to be able to comment on different subjects and topics and things along those lines. That's what we're working on right now. And so we're going to be debuting that this week. Only the folks who are fan club members are going to be able to call in. That's for the first month. Hey, it's called benefits. So that's how we're working at. And so we're working at right now. So I'm going to go back out here. So let me tell you something. So I was sitting in here. I was sitting in this office. I was sitting in here. Carol and I were talking. And set was being built. Lights are being installed. We're in here. So I'm looking out over here. And I'm seeing these walls. And I'm like, okay, what can we put up in these offices? And I wanted this space to be very much like, like an art gallery type, okay? So it hit me, I said, yo, we can put up murals on these offices, on every single one of these office walls. So then I started thinking about different type of murals that we can put up on these walls. And so let me go show you what we did. And so again, stuff just pops in my head. And that's what happened. And so what we did was we came in here, and so this mural here is a mural of the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting establishment of religion. So boom. That's right there, the First Amendment. So we printed that out. It's on a cotton fabric that's printing out that particular mural right there. And so we're gonna come on down here. And so this here is the nation's first black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, that was created. Y'all hear me talk all the time. The comment, we wish to plead our own cause, too long have others spoken for us. That was, of course, March 16, 1827. So that's one of the murals that we wanted to be able to have on the wall in this office here. And so we go to this office here, and you see we have Black Lives Matter that is on that particular wall right there. This was the first mural, Black Star Network, curated by Roland S. Martin. So that's one of our murals right there. Y'all know how I feel about Black-owned media. Y'all can tell this is my office. We still putting stuff up. Here's some Tiger Woods photos that I shot. And so I wanted to pay homage to Black-owned media. So we put together this mural here, and you see Frederick Douglass is the North Star, the Tulsa Star, Negro Digest, Atlanta Daily World, of course, the Pittsburgh Courier. You see here Emerge Magazine, BET, Jet Magazine, TV One, WGPR TV, the first Black-owned TV station in the country, Emerge, Ebony, Dallas Weekly, where I used to work, be managing editor, again, Savoy Magazine, where I was a news editor there, Black Enterprise, Chicago Defender, where I was there as well. And again, so we put this together, WERD Radio, TV One is on here as well. Shout out to Kathy Hughes, who watches our show. And so we wanted this, to, again, to pay respect to Black-owned media. And so that's why we put this particular collage together as well. And so we're going to go back out here. Let's see here. We got two more murals to actually show you. And so in this office here, that's our equipment room, all our gear. So y'all know, look, I ain't got no problem being on hashtag Team Jesus. And so that's Joshua 24:15. As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. And so that mural, of course, had to be in here. And then, of course, I got to pay respects to Latasha Brown, Cliff Albright, and Black Voters Matter. And so, you know, we always talking about Black voters and how important that is. And so we got that mural there as well. And so folks, what you see here, I'm going to bring in Faraji, Greg, and Reese as well. I told y'all we got some great things that we're doing. And so in the next month, we already have Rolling with Roland, the 1-hour interview show that you see on. We got Richard Lawson, the interview we launched last night. We're showing that particular interview. My wife, Reverend Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, is going to be having a weekly show called Fulfill, the Art and Joy of Balanced Living. We're going to be doing that show. My man Greg Carr is going to be doing a show, a weekly show on the Black Star Network called The Black Table. He's going to be doing that. Faraji Muhammad is going to have a daily show that's going to be For the Culture with Faraji Muhammad. And so I'm going to announce the other shows a little bit later. But I need y'all to understand the whole point here was for us, when you're talking about building a house, you cannot have a great house unless you have a fantastic foundation. You can have the most gorgeous design house. You can have great furniture, all that sort of stuff in your house. But here's the problem. If the foundation is jacked up, the house can be condemned because of a bad foundation. And that's why we said we have to have our strong location. That's why all of our technical stuff, our streaming equipment, all of those things, having a strong control room to be able to run all these things through was critically important. And so this also allows for us, as I said, to have different looks for different purposes. Green screen, the love wall, the photos of the artists, the set piece over here, the living room that we're going to have in here, this piece right here. When we have our Fit, Live, Win segments, we can literally do those segments in this space right here, or we can do them over there, or we can actually do, so versus having somebody on who's sitting here talking about exercises, we can actually do the exercises. Oh, there's some other art pieces in here. This is a piece of Ted Ellis. I spoke to the Jack Yates High School, one of the classes, and so they gave me that as a gift, a photo that Ted Ellis did of Obama as one of his pieces. These are some other photos in here. These are some photos that I shot of Hillary Clinton when she came through Dallas, the South Dallas Cultural Center. We got those photos there. This is a great piece over here. I got this in the Tom Joyner Morning Show cruise. This art, I loved it. It's actually on leather. And what's cool though is you can turn it, you can have it vertical and you see the piece here, but then if I turn it horizontal, you see the additional faces here. And so I I just love the color, and I said we got to do that. And then we put some other stuff up in here. When the Urban League honored me, they put together this whole collage of my career, and so we have, which literally all the places I've worked and different achievements. That's the St. Louis area Urban League, and so that's what we have there. And so, again, the thing here, Greg, Reese, and Faraji, the whole point was to be able to take one space, to be able to do multiple things at one time in order to be able to maximize the space, maximize our resources, and be able to do, not just have sort of one look. What y'all think?
Bravo.
What do we think?
Congratulations, fellas, Dr. Carr and Faraji. Breaking news, at least from as far as what I know. So maybe y'all have me on the show.
Oh, look, you know you be on all the shows, Reese. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just assume, you know, I'm waiting for that breaking news. I was like, wow, Roland, that was, man. And then everybody, when you said that going into the control center, and you said, this is where y'all's money is going. This is, people have to understand, this is, I mean, you didn't have this kind of flexibility at TV One. You've never had it anywhere.
No, we didn't. No, we tried to. I mean, I can tell you there were talks about us creating our own studio. I wanted to do it. My executive producer wanted to do it. You know, the decision was made not to do it. We knew the severe limitations we had. So here's the deal. If we wanted to do a one-on-one interview with somebody when I was at TV One, we had to go somewhere else to do it. We now can actually do it in this space. In fact, there's somebody doing a documentary on the Harry Belafonte. And they hit up my assistant. They said, well, they want to do the interview. I said, they could say, can we do it at your office? Yeah, we're going to do it right here in front of the Harry Belafonte piece. And so we can do one-on-one interviews in here. We can do multiple interviews in here. Again, we can create, once we pass, you know, whatever we're dealing with COVID, we can have a studio audience in here. So that was the whole point. Being able to, and so the vision was, and I'm telling you, every place that we looked, I walked into places, I'm like, that's not it. They had too many walls or whatever. I said, all I need is one big ass room. I said, just give me one big room and I'm gonna figure everything else out. And the benefit for us here was having all these offices with the glass walls. And then my whole deal was, I'm telling you, the moment we walked in here, the first thing I said was, I'm putting LED lighting in here, and I'm gonna use the offices as part of the set. So the whole idea here, because like when you talk about television, they always like, because like even when they're like, well, do we show the control room? Yes, that's shot. That's gonna be, the control room is gonna be in the background. So everything, so the idea was to create a space that was sort of like this celebration of Black art, that also everything is all incorporated, and we can all have all the different looks and stuff like that. And so that's really what it was about.
Man, brother, you know what I was thinking, looking at the work by Brother Hills and the young sister Sophia Dawson, who all those websites, Leroy Campbell, my colleague Harlan Penn, everything in there. And I know you did that with none of this in mind, But I'm sure there are people watching saying, "Oh, I need that on a hoodie." Or I need that in my house. You might have to monetize. Look, that Black media collage I'm thinking to myself, bruh, we gotta shit. And everything in there is 100% Black. Everybody giving smoke. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the music pieces, it was a white artist in LA. They were just too powerful. I said, got to get them. But everything else, and here's the deal. Shout out to Blakon Media. They actually did our control room, a Black-owned engineering firm out of Atlanta. And so that was a point that I was trying to explain to folks that I want y'all to understand. So lighting company, African-American owned. Drake company, African-American owned. A set designer, African-American. Artist, African-American. Again, that was the whole point, using our resources to also work with other Black-owned businesses to give them a shot where other media companies would never give them an opportunity to do something along these lines. And so that was the whole point of us creating it. And so again, we started this show September 4th, 2018, building the platform, building the show, taking our time. We started with 157,000 YouTube subscribers. Now, today, right now, it's almost 820,000. And so that's how we've been able to grow it. And so when we've been trying to get here, 819,361. We've had, when it came to our with Black Star Network, I think we've surpassed 25,000 downloads. Again, we're being very methodical about that. Here's the other deal. I was reading the story today, y'all. The Athletic, they do about 50 million in revenue. They valued themselves at 500. They just got bought by the New York Times for $500 million. They said they're going to be profitable in 2023. I want all y'all to know, we've been profitable since our first year and a half. Now, I want y'all to understand, and see, Reese, a lot of people who don't really understand this. Look, I could have, and people came to me, they wanted to give me money. I could have easily gone out and raised $5-10 million. But here's why I didn't. Because the moment you do that, those folks are going to be like, return on investment. And so the pressure was going to be on about selling. The whole focus is, okay, invest, build something, flip it, sell it. I said, well, you got to build it first. And so I purposely said no to crowdfunding and to individual investors. I said, because we have to build it first. And so if the focus is all about building it to sell it, then you lose sight of exactly why you're doing this.
And Roland, I just want to, give you just praise, because you are truly about putting your money where your mouth is and putting the action behind the rhetoric. There's a lot of stuff. I won't give airtime to naysayers, but when we talk about Black media, you are the epitome of Black media, not just in you being the face of your company, but in the way that you consistently uplift Black businesses. And people that reach out to you through your show, not all stuck up and Hasididi about it, and the diversity of perspectives that you bring on your show. It's not about litmus tests for what's Black or gatekeeping or what people difference ideology is. As the quote says, we wish to plead our own case. You allow people to plead their case. If you have this perspective, come on here, fact-based, and plead your case. And I don't think that there's many other opportunities for people to do that of any race, of any kind of network or platform, more so than what you do. And so regardless of whether people agree with your positions, particularly you being you favoring Democratic politicians or not, nobody can ever criticize with any credibility the love that you have for Black people, Black businesses, and Black voices. And we need that authentic, true, not gonna sell out, platform and just passion and conviction that you have. So I appreciate what you're doing. I think this is really a remarkable achievement for the culture, for our community, that we have a place to go to have these discussions, whether it's an hour discussion or a 15-minute discussion, and allow the voices, the prominent voices, the experts to also come and have these in-depth conversations. So congratulations to you, Black Star Network, the entire Roland Martin Unfiltered family, all of the talent that you have on your show. And to the people that support it, because this really is a people-powered movement. It's not a troll-powered movement. It's not a get clicks and whatever's gonna go viral type of movement. This is a genuine people-powered movement, and the people that watch this show and that power it care. They care about what you have to say. They care about what we all have to say, and they care about our community. And so that really speaks more volume. And this is just a perfect way that we can visually see the way that our community can do for ourselves and care for ourselves and tell our own stories.
Absolutely right. And it's so funny you talk about trolls. Somebody was talking in the YouTube chat. I see a photo of Hillary Clinton. First of all, I actually shot that photo. It's a great damn photo. And so I have other pieces that I've actually shot. Y'all don't realize I've been shooting photos since I was in the 9th grade. I wasn't just, I told you I went to school of communications. I did TV, radio, newspaper photography. I did all of that. So bro got skills. But just for the folks who run their mouth, I want to show y'all this here. 2004 at the Unity Journalists of Color Convention. If y'all go to C-SPAN, when I jammed up President George W. Bush, that photo's up here as well. So y'all want to talk about the Hillary Clinton photo? This is what, and if y'all see that photo right there, that was sort of Bush pointing at me like, damn, you got me. That was like, you got me. And it was like, so two weeks after that, y'all can tell that was 2004, because I had a lot more hair. 2 weeks after this is when I got this in the mail, autographed photo from President George W. Bush for that. And so, again, we ain't got a problem talking to Democrats, Republicans, everybody. And the other thing, you know, Faraji, the other point about there are African Americans who are in media who I know and who already reached out. They said, hey, you know what, who need a space to do interviews or do something when they come to town. And so the people who I know personally, that's the other thing that I need people to understand. They now they can hit me up. They can say, hey, I want to do this. Can I do it in your space? We also have the ability to actually rent the space out to folks who want to shoot projects or whatever. And that's the thing that people have to understand. You can't talk about all these folks running around hollering they black media when they're not out here actually doing the work. You don't see them on the road. That's why we got the Roll-Mobile, the Sprinter. That's why we got 2 LiveView units. And so we've invested, I mean, this was a $250,000 project. Mm-hmm. People got to understand that. And so when people heard me talking about advertising sponsors, why they got to support black-owned media, I was literally on the phone today with a reporter for a major newspaper, and we've been pressing the case because we cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. And black people have got to stop saying, man, you know, we do a whole lot with nothing. How about we do a whole lot with a lot more?
What a whole
Come on. And you know what? Real talk, Brother Roland, what you're talking about is institution building. I mean, that's what it comes down to. What you're talking about, and I always appreciate and respect those who are able to get out and get the land, get the real estate that they need to build their dreams upon. You own a space with that much diversity, from the green screen to the living room scene to the to all of the beautiful murals and all of the wonderful and beautiful paintings. I was just telling my wife, she's a black artist. I was like, man, Roland is doing it. Look at these pieces. I mean, of Mr. B and Ida B. Wells. I mean, it just goes to show you that this is the institution. And to be, and I mean, I don't think we can kind of gloss over this, Brother Roland family. The fact that you're on Black Lives Matter Plaza, a couple of blocks from the White House, talking about the issues that are affecting black people in this country, and you're that close to where those conversations are really happening, you're that close to the Congress, that's not happenstance. This is not, oh, we just going to do this and then move on to something else. This is legacy building right here. And if there isn't any legacy, then guess what's going to happen? Our children can't benefit from that. And that's what I'm that's what I'm looking at right at this point. The fact is that your children and your nieces and nephew and grandchildren, hell, even my children, we're going to be like, man, I remember when Daddy used to work here. So all of that. So, you know, I mean, it's just about institutional building. And to say that we are just beyond proud of you, and I'm very, very humbled to be a part of the Black Star Network family, is an understatement. I am completely humbled by this.
Well, I'm gonna show you. We want to talk about you know how God works, and so I'm gonna show y'all this. Because I'm telling y'all need to understand how it works. So I'm gonna show you, Antoine. Come on. So y'all need to realize that. Okay. We were looking for, we had a hellacious time trying to find an office space in 2018. We were looking everywhere, so many places fell through. And I was on a board call of 50CAN, Education Reform Group. It was May. And on the call, they were talking about making cuts, money had been down. They were talking about subleasing the office space, or they were talking about literally going to WeWorks. And I said, damn. I said, you know, they got that open space. We could do the show there. And so we got to talking. And so that's what happened. And so in our old space, y'all, we had one office that had, our 3 staffers in it, with another office that was mine, and the office that was next to me, the large office, that was our control room. We literally sublet that place. Now I'm gonna show y'all how God works. So come with me. I just told you what the place, now see, we gotta do this here. We got to move the set back. So that's the other piece. This is a movable set. So we're able, because Carol works in that office. I got it, y'all. I'm good. Carol works in that office. And so what we do is we got to move this set here, and then we got to push the set back that way. But Carol get in her office. It's all good. So we're going to come through here. So y'all need to understand, right there, across the street, that's where we were. We were literally across the street for 3 years. And then when 50 came, was going to move out, we moved out. We looked other places. We are literally right across the street, y'all. We're literally right across the street. And we hit several different places. And so when we moved, we literally just walked right across the street. Wow. And so this place, we got a 5-year lease, 5,200 square feet. And again, to build the kind of network we want to build. We're launching 4 shows in the first quarter. The goal is to launch 4 more shows by the end of the year. We've got, I'm going to say, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, is going to be doing a financial show, a weekly financial show for us as well. So y'all, we're working with Mario Armstrong. Mario has a show, Never Settle. We're going to be streaming that, and Mario's going to be doing a technology show. So we're going to have tech show, wellness show, daily news and political show, weekly news and political show, financial show, again, entrepreneur show, so multiple shows. That's why we're trying to get you to download the Black Star Network app. All those shows are going to be streaming on the network app. What we're also working on right now that I'll have done by the end of this quarter, we'll have our streaming network where we'll be up for a 24-hour streaming network, taking those shows plus content that we already have and then streaming that 24 hours a day. And so that way, when you turn on your Samsung TV, we're going to be trying to get on their grid as well. So when you look at all those digital channels, boom, we want to have one of those channels as well. That is the vision. But we could not do any of that. You had to methodically put things in place to actually do that. And so that's why when I was trying to get people to understand about giving, look, I'm trying to tell y'all, members, our folks were sending in checks. They were donating via Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, but there's a bunch of our folks can't trust none of that. They were sending in an average of 30 checks. And I know some of y'all mad because I'm not giving y'all the address. I did that for a reason. I'm gonna give the address out soon. But again, that has allowed for us to do what we do. What you're seeing, Antoine, show this here. What you're seeing right here, folks, these are robotic cameras. These are the cameras that we had in the old studio. We upgraded to these cameras right here, and these cameras right here are upgraded to 4K. And so we've got, so just again, I want y'all to understand where your money is going. We've got 10 robotic cameras in this place. So we've got 2 robotic cameras over here. We've got 5 robotic cameras over here. We've got 3 robotic cameras over there. And then of course, we have the option with the handheld right here. And so I'm just going to come over here, and just so y'all to understand, because, again, that's our second equipment room. When you talk about our additional tripods and speakers and cameras and light stands, that's all that stuff right here. This is the same thing right here, okay? Our microphones. You look at all of our stuff right here. You look at our director's chairs. You look at our 10 by 10 and 10 by 15 tent. And you look at all of this sort of stuff. This is all about us being able to do what we do when we go on the road. So when we hit the road, we literally are setting up the same way NBC, CBS, and ABC, but we're faster, we're portable, and ain't nobody, let me say it again, ain't nobody else, Greg Carr laughing, we talk about it all the time, ain't nobody else in black-owned media doing what we're doing.
Nobody.
Come on.
Nobody.
Come on.
I mean, it's a famous man once said, you can't be black media and be scared. I can't remember who. Man, brother, I ain't got no words. There's nobody in the world. I mean, I'm thinking, this is worldwide, man. And it's all black. You can't be canceled. They can't scare you with no contract. They can't worry about moving your time slot. You are the time slot.
Well, and I need people to understand. That's why that mural is so important. Y'all hear me quote it all the time. That is the mural of the first. This was the first black newspaper in American history. Freedom's Journal, March 16th, 1827. This is the third paragraph. We wish to plead our own cause, too long have others spoken for us. That is the motto of the Black press. I run 3 Black newspapers, and so that's what we do here, and it's getting our people to understand why we also have to support, we have to give, we have to. So that's why I said to people, look, and y'all think I'm joking, to some of y'all out there, when 20,000 of our fans, all right, we've had, I think, Keenan will tell me what the number is, he'll text it to me. I think we're at 35 or 40,000 donors. 35 or 40,000 donors we've had. And so we've had people give as little as $1. People give as much as $30,000. We had hit me up, he said, man, I'm tired of y'all show buffering on YouTube. I heard about your OTT channel. He gave us $5,000 to launch Black Star Network, to have it built. And so that's what I need y'all to understand, why this stuff is important with what we're doing, because now we have the ability to travel, to cover our stories. And here's the most important thing. We don't have to ask anybody's permission. When Reverend Barber called me and said, we're gonna be protesting in Elizabeth City, we gassed up the Sprinter, got the driver, Anthony and I went down, and we live streamed down there. We partnered with Coca-Cola for the Celebration Bowl with a team of 8 folks down in Atlanta, broadcasting all that stuff for the week. That is a thing that I'm trying to get us to understand. I am not interested in asking MSNBC, I don't care how liberal they are, CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, New York Times, Washington Post, Vanity Fair. I'm not interested in asking and pleading with them to please cover us.
Come on, come on.
I have no interest in that. That's why that Black Owned Matters mural is up there.
Yes, sir.
This is doing the exact same thing that Robert Abbott did with the Chicago Defender, that Frederick Douglass did with the North Star, that Ida B. Wells Barnett did with her newspaper. I want y'all to understand, matter of fact, come on, Antoine, I just realized this here. Ida B. Wells Barnett's newspaper was burned down by white supremacists because, and there are no copies available of her newspaper. And I'm looking for it in here. Just so y'all know, we could not find a copy of her newspaper, but we made sure the name of her newspaper is on this wall, the Memphis Free Speech and Headlight.
Go ahead.
So the reason you don't see a cover of Ida B. Wells Barnett paper is because they firebombed her paper and they destroyed, and there's not a single copy of her newspaper anywhere to be found. But we made sure that the name of her paper was on that wall. That's the whole point, folks. That's the whole point with what we're trying to do here. And so this has been a 6-month project, building this whole thing out. But really, this has been something that I have been focused on since I was 14 when I went to Jack Yates High School, Magnet School of Communications. So,
Roland, I wonder
it's a lot of. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to ask you. I wonder what George Curry would have been able to do. I see you merge on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, I think about Max Robinson. You know, I think about John H. Johnson. What if there had been a television network? And now with all of these, I mean, folk, and I think we probably all expect now that there's going to be a surge in subscribers. There's going to be people who see this. They're going to be young people. They're going to be news people who say, you know, I know I work for this company, I work for this, but I'd like to come do an interview. Well, you say, you know what? We got a space. I mean, I just think about all the people who are ancestors who you worked with shoulder to shoulder, who you knew and worked with, who, if they had had something like this, but guess what? It's here now. So
yeah, like I got a sister in YouTube who says we want a live chat on the Black Star Network. Well, Vimeo doesn't have that. Well, guess what? We've been talking to them for the past 3 months saying, y'all have got to put that as a part of it. We're paying for the feature. And so y'all, that's what we're doing. So understand what you're talking about. But now here's the deal. And I need people to understand, all right? And I ain't got no problem. So why are we still on YouTube? because we still generate anywhere from $40,000 to $75,000, almost upwards. We've done $103,000 a month on YouTube. We would prefer to generate that on the Black Star Network, which is why I need y'all to be doing your part when I'm putting pressure on these advertisers to invest in Black-owned media.
Right.
There's no reason in the world we're not doing $10 million in revenue this year.
Come on.
There's no reason. I'm seeing the money they're giving to Black Targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they will toss money at Black Targeted. I was on the phone today talking with several Democrats saying, y'all better make sure y'all investing in Black-owned media. Don't be running out just buying ads on Fox News and CNN and local radio stations and newspapers. Invest in Black-owned media. That's the whole point. And so, then of course you got the trolls. Recently you talked about Roland Martin, he always begging. No, this is called investing.
That's it.
It's called investing. Because when we have the ability to take our cameras anywhere we want to take them, and we ain't got to sit here and we can pay staff. And let me go ahead and say this here. And it's not bragging, but it was by design. Ain't nobody who works on this staff, not one person, been paid late.
Come on.
Right. Come on.
Come on.
Now, there's a whole bunch of other places can't say that. But, and I've worked for them. I work for them. They can't say that. We've been profitable since we were a year and a half old. And look, our first year was not easy. I personally invested $391,000 of my speaker fee money into the company to make sure staff got paid.
Wow.
I didn't have a CNN salary. I didn't have that TV One check. The Tom Joyner check, I ain't got a problem. When I started with Tom Joyner in 2008, it was $250,000. When it ended in 2019, it was down to $41,000. We started this in September 4, 2018. So what I need y'all to understand is our donors, they got us through. I told y'all in 2020, they gave $672,000. What we're talking about is building something that is sustainable, that is able to actually speak to our interests. And so that's what we're doing. And so I appreciate all of y'all been giving. If you give on YouTube, hey, that's great and wonderful. But remember, we only get 55% or 50. You give $1 to us on YouTube, we get 55 cents. Give to us direct so we can get all 100%. So go to Cash App, which is R Martin Unfiltered. Zelle is roland@rolandsmartin.com, roland@rolandmartinunfiltered.com. Of course, Venmo is R Martin Unfiltered. PayPal is Venmo is RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. And so soon I'll have the address for y'all to start, y'all can start sending checks again and your money orders. Again, I appreciate those who've done that. And so it's a whole lot that we're doing. And trust me, we're building something that's fantastic and amazing. And I can't wait to use, first of all, I hired a company who's been handling program development. And again, it's a perfect example. Y'all, I can't do it all. I literally hired a company to do program development, to get these shows on the air. They've been shooting these shows, shooting pilots over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And again, we hope to begin to debut roll those shows out the 1st of February. And that's what our plan is. And so we're looking forward to that. So there's a whole lot of stuff that's happening. It's a lot more work to do. And so I hope y'all enjoy the new space. It's been, trust me, it has not been easy, but we have been we're trying to make it happen. And we want to thank all of y'all, every single one of y'all who's contributed, who's made this possible, everybody who has helped us, who's been working around the clock 7 days a week, getting this thing going. Shout out to our whole staff, whether you're talking about audio or video, tech, everybody, graphics, producers, bookers, freelancers, and everything, because look, you can't do it all by yourself. And trust me, every single day, it is about delivering a fantastic product for you. That's what our goal is. And trust me, there's some days, look, we're not happy. We want to do more, but we do the best that we can. But I told y'all and I promised y'all that I'm going to maximize. Look, my grandfather, I told y'all, I saw the Richard Lawson interview, how he had about 50 people at his house, and there were 2 chickens, and everybody had a piece of chicken in their gumbo bowl. So I know how to sit here and maximize a dollar. And so that's what we're gonna see you laughing, Greg. Trust me. My grandmother had a catering business. My mama had a cake business. I got entrepreneurs in my family, so this ain't nothing new. And I gotta give a shout out to Houston Independent School District, Jack Hayes High School, because again, Thelma Johnson was my radio teacher. Mary Waits was my television teacher. Ronald Miller was my radio teacher. And all this started there at JY. Right there in Houston, Texas, in 3rd Ward. And so, y'all, we got some fantastic stuff for y'all. We got more great interviews coming up. I can't wait to y'all see those shows. And so please support us in what we do. Now, and all my haters, please keep hating. Please keep hating. Because every time you hate, you know what we do? We celebrate.
Come on.
Every time you hate,
come on,
we celebrate.
Right.
So we enjoy it. And haters, I hope y'all enjoy this too. Y'all, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Holla!
Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Wow, Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
You dig?
Peace.